We're entering upon what I consider a golden opportunity, and that's usually uh, the measuring device or measuring concept or idea that's used when you're thinking about value or something that's valuable, something that has great value. You think in terms of this mineral element that's called gold, and so this is a golden opportunity that we're entering upon right now. We're identified it as the ABCs of Nunetics, the foundation. And as you can hear in that description, in that title, we're talking about something that's very basic, something that acts as a building block for something important. And that's exactly what we're going to be sharing with you. There's so much in that, if you're going to build a structure, then there are tools, there's materials, there's equipment, there's planning that has to go on. There's a lot of steps to the process. But for us, now we're talking about actually the construction of the human life. And we've been told by a very wise one in the traditions and in the history of the African American experience, uh, Imam W. Muhammad, known early on as Wallerstein Muhammad, later called Waterstein Muhammad. But he said something around 1975. He said, "Man means mind," and he said, "Words make people." So insightful, you know. But those two concepts, if considered very deeply and taken in a very practical way, helps us to mold and shape the kind of life that we want for ourselves and the kind of life that our soul calls for. And that's the kind of experience we want you to join with us on in this journey that we call Nunetics. We're learning how to build the quality life that was intended by the source creator who designed human life for us. And it's done one word, and we consider not only the combination of letters to be a word, but each letter itself is actually a word. So words make people. And that's the journey that we're inviting you on so that we can explore those words, those letters. That's what Nunetics is all about. You'll learn more as we uh, go together on this journey. Today, we will be looking at the letter Aleph. Uh, in English, it would be the letter A, but it's a very basic, fundamental sound that is really common to all languages. But what we'll do, we'll just explore uh, very briefly, give you some introductory remarks about it. But later, and anticipate this along with us. Later, we plan on going much deeper and to all of the expressions and ramifications from this one concept called Aleph or A. It has implications on a social level, on a governmental level, on an economic level, on a cultural level. We have all those expressions in this one letter, A or Aleph. But that being said, there's so much, but we're going to give you an introduction today. And to do that, I don't know if anyone better equipped, uh, better positioned, not just in mind, but in spirit and in the work. Been doing this for over 30 years, been developing this science, this technology, This methodology actually has evolved into a whole movement called Nunetics. International instructor, Benjamin Bilal. I'll
Thank you
pass
very
the
much,
talking
my
stick
friend.
over.
Yeah,
You
gladly
got it.
accepted.
You
Yes,
got
indeed. All right, let's get this linguistic party
it.
started.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay. So thank you all for joining us. And we're very excited to present this alphabet system, this letter system, um, to the public. Some of these things have been taught in private. Some of these things have been taught to very elite, special kinds of people as they are considered. Much of what we're going to be saying to you through this particular alphabet system was never meant to be shared with the public.
Mhm.
So feel yourself special in that sense, not in an elitist sense, but in the sense that the source creator has blessed all of us now to begin coming into levels of understanding and levels of awareness in terms of what things actually mean.
Mm,
And the purpose for being able to bring these things to mind is so that we can build a better human being. And I don't mean in the AI sense of building a human being. I mean in
mm,
the sense that the source creator builds human beings
mhm,
from the inside out.
mhm,
These letters represent parts of the human body. And Aleph as a letter actually represents the human spine. And I'm sure everyone has had a chance to see what a spine looks like. We know that it's straight up in terms of its structure. We know that it is situated along a column called the spinal column that is actually connected to your central nervous system. To go a little bit deep in the beginning of this, but I want you to just follow the logic to its logical conclusion. Aleph, straight up,
mm,
connected to something that is also connected to every part of your body, and that is your nervous system.
mm,
There are nerves all over the body that, when touched, can reflect feelings.
mm.
People very often say, "You touched me, you touched my heart," you know? But if
Yes.
somebody steps on your big toe, you feel that also. So, Aleph represents the ability to keep the human life upright. And many of the words in the Quran, particularly, that begin with this very special first letter of the alphabet, many of the words have to do with things being upright.
Mhm,
And upright has many meanings, even in the English language. And in a particular saying that they attribute to Muhammad the Prophet, it is said that he said to someone who came to him for some advice that only he could give them,
mm,
it is said that he told them, Amantu billahi thumma istaqim, which means have faith in the source creator,
mm.
whom some call Allah. Have faith in Allah. Thumma istaqim. Thereafter, be upright.
Okay.
And as far as the human body goes and its physical parts, it's actually the spine that allows the human being to stand upright. The spine has some bend in it. You can bend over it and your spine will accommodate that bend, but that's not the default position of the human body.
Mm,
The default position of the human body is to be upright.
mm,
Some animals can do it, but they can only do it for a certain amount of time. Even the gorilla, who people see as being very human-like in its characteristics,
mm,
the gorilla can only stand but for so long at a time. The human being can stand for hours if necessary, because the spine is helping him to accommodate and her to accommodate that particular positioning. So the spine is both rigid as well as flexible. We're talking about aspects of meanings now that are factoring into the human personality itself.
Mhm.
There are some issues that we support, and keep that word in mind, support. There are
Mhm.
some issues that we support that we have to be rigid on,
Mm.
how we feel about our children and their protection, um, how we feel about our women, our wives, and our sisters and daughters and aunties. And we have to be firm, standing upon their need for protection. And then there are other issues that we can show some flexibility on, how you feel about sports, you know, that kind of thing. What do you think about the president? The issues that we can go back and forth with, some we can compromise. That's all bending is, compromise. You don't have to agree with everything, but I agree on these items because they are important to me and my family, or to me and my neighborhood, see, or me and my community. So there are issues that we stand firm on, and then there are issues where we can give a little, as they say, give a
Right.
little bend, that kind of thing. So this is what Alif is representing. It's representing as a body part the spine, which is connected to the skull. Remember that now. Whenever you look at a skeleton and you ask the computer to give you a picture of the spine, that spine will be connected to the lower part of the skull, the
Mhm.
medulla oblongata. I hope I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
hope so too.
yeah. Well, you guys go look it up. You go look it up. Do some homework.
Yeah.
But that back part of the skull actually controls your unconscious mind, and it controls your instincts.
Mhm.
That part of the brain is responsible for your fight or flight instincts, responsible for the things that keep you alive that you do not have to pay necessary attention to in order
Mm.
for them to continue functioning, like your breathing, like your heartbeat. You don't think about these things,
No.
but they are very essential in order to keep on living and
Right.
breathing and doing work, etc. So this is a part of the spine also. So the spine actually represents that which supports the structure itself.
Mm.
If there's any kind of injury to the spine, and if it's a severe injury, you may not be able to walk at all.
Mm.
And if it's even more severe than what we believe to be the standard severe injury, it could kill you.
Mhm.
If you get hit in the spine to the point where the spine is severed, you can forget it. Life is over for that person. So we can see how important this spine is. And then we can take that importance and transfer it over to words in the Quran, especially that begin with the letter Alif, with one of the most important words being the word Iman, from Amana, the verb Amana, Iman. Uh, Iman means several important things. It means faith.
Mhm.
Some people would say that it means belief. And further than that, they would tell you that one of the strongest meanings for the word Iman is trust.
Mm.
If you have faith in someone or faith in something, it means that you can trust that person or trust that thing. You
Right.
don't have any question marks in your mind concerning whether that thing can be trusted or not.
Right.
Now, let's take another look, or a first look actually, at why it can be trusted. The spine is trusted because it serves the purpose of keeping a covenant of sorts.
Mm.
And a covenant is an agreement,
Mhm.
an agreement. And the agreement is that I will keep you standing upright as long as you treat my presence among you as though it is serving that particular purpose.
Mm.
If I'm slouching, sometimes we go in the street and we see the younger brothers, walking kind of lopsided, talking to the girls, yo. And a lot of people walk around, but they're not really taking full advantage of their upright posture.
Mm.
They're leaning. We used to have that song in the hood, digging the scene with the gangster lean. We're talking about the gangster lean. The gangster lean? What other animal is leaning? So it shows you that many human beings have been taken off of what we call their fitra path.
Mhm.
Their path of natural human development is what we're talking about. So anything that supports other things is represented in the letter Aleph.
Mm.
So it could be your father who supports his family. He's called Abu, beginning with an Aleph. It could be your mother who supports the family and supports her husband.
Mhm.
And his name is, pardon me, her name is Ummi or which
Mhm.
also begins with an Aleph.
Mhm.
It could be your siblings, and their names are Ach and Uch, both of which begin with Aleph. So again, wherever you see this Aleph, and especially if it's placed in the beginning of the word, as those words are that I just mentioned, including Iman, faith, trust, covenant, bond, it holds that significance. Just like we say that that business in the community is actually the backbone of the community
Mhm.
in terms of its economic support of the community, the things that it has established, the other businesses that it has spawned. You know, when you reach that level in a society where your work ethic produced other works and other effects of that work that are serving to keep the community upright and prosperous and forward moving, just like if your spine is in the right place and you're standing upright, you can move forward.
Mhm.
It's not speaking to the people who want to move backward.
Hmm.
You'll see how uncomfortable your body becomes when you're just trying to walk backward for a distance. Very uncomfortable. It's like driving backwards. It's not as comfortable as driving forward or riding a bicycle and trying to pedal backwards. It's very uncomfortable because nature tells you that that's the incorrect way to try to move forward. Some of our communities are doing things that are causing them to move backwards in
Hmm.
terms of their progress. And they continue to do those things that keep them in a backward kind of method of moving. Moving. It's not natural for human beings. When the whole moonwalk phenomenon came out as a dance, the moonwalk, where people are moving backwards while appearing to move forward.
Hmm.
Isn't that something?
That's
But that's
something.
what they've done to most of us psychologically.
Uh,
We think we're moving forward, but in reality, we're moving inch by inch, foot by foot in a backward manner. Now, as an abstract meaning, the Aleph signifies any formal agreement,
mhm.
any contract. If I get together with you, William, and I say I need to contract with you to build my house
Mhm.
or do any other number of things as work in your house for you, that contract is Aleph.
Mhm.
That contract represents a commitment from me to do something that I am going to strongly protect. If
Right.
I'm building your house, I may even have security posted outside to make sure that nobody comes and steals your bricks, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Nobody comes and gets in the windows because they're not in yet. And so I may have to hire security. Many people, many builders do that. They have to hire security because they have to make sure that their work is protected. That's how we are, psychologically at least,
Hmm.
as people who are forward looking people,
Hmm.
people who are interested in building family life, first and foremost, family is called the Ahl, which begins with an Alif. People who are looking forward to building community life. And community is called the and Ummah. That also begins with an Alif. So go through the Arabic English dictionary and look for those words that begin with this very, very precious letter. It's an agreement. And you can have a difference of ideologies, philosophies, that kind of thing with other people. And as long as those ideologies are intended to uphold
Hmm.
structures,
Hmm. Hmm.
you might say, I'm a communist, I'm a socialist, I'm a Buddhist, whatever, religion, not religion, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Are those ideologies intended to uphold the human being in terms of what he or she believes is best for the forward movement of people? Now, we're not
Hmm.
talking about Satanism because that's not best for the forward movement of people. We're talking about ideologies that have been agreed upon by people could possibly help us achieve the
Mhm.
human life and better the human circumstances. So they could be social, they could be governmental, they can be economic, they could be cultural, whatever the props are, whatever the spine of that situation is that allows you to remain upright. That's the key idea. Remain up. You won't have to lean to the side.
Hmm.
You won't have to do anything that doesn't look like it's forward movement. That you're trying to trick somebody out of something or do something to somebody that's going to cause them to become destabilized.
Mhm.
We call that people who are pushovers. Somebody can just come and push you over. They're destabilizing you because they are putting undue pressure on your spine when they push you.
Mhm.
It knocks your spine out of alignment for the moment. So that's what this letter is. One other significant detail for the letter Aleph is that it can mean things that are connected, like your spine,
Mhm.
but it can also mean the exact opposite, that which becomes detached. And in English, we have the word aloof, see, carries the same almost pronunciation as Alif in Arabic, but in English, we say aloof, which means to be separated from each other, to
Mhm.
be distant from each other, not being close up to people, but being a certain distance, say aloof. That means he ain't doing what we doing. He ain't going where we're going. He's all of the way over there. He's aloof. And even in the English language, we have the word for a certain group of mountains, the Alps. See,
Hmm.
that's also from this word, Aleph, but it's for the opposite reason that they are in the distance.
Mhm.
They are aloof. The Alps are aloof. You have a phrase a leaf, like the leaf you get from the trees when
Mhm.
it detaches itself from the branch. It's a leaf.
Hmm.
Sounds almost like Aleph because
Yeah.
it's dealing with that detachment
Mhm.
that can occur.
Mhm.
It's attached still probably to the tree in terms of the stem being connected to the tree or to the branch, but it's aloof from the actual tree, the leaf. And we know to leave a place means to become aloof to that particular area, to become
Hmm.
separated or detached from that particular area. I'm leaving here. Leave is just the connection that we have to a leaf because there's a leaf and then a bunch of them are called leaves. See, it's the same word. I need to leave this place. See, um, one last point about this letter, but given in the English explanation of the letter A, all of us know what the capital letter A looks like, and it looks like a pyramid, like the ones we find in Mexico or in ancient Egypt. It's like a pyramid.
Mhm.
And the pyramid was used for particular purposes, especially in ancient Egypt. One of those purposes was to serve as a burial ground or a burial edifice for the dead pharaohs.
Right.
So A came to be associated with that which has left us. See, leaves, that which has left us, those who have left us, who were in mighty positions. You couldn't, just anybody couldn't be buried in a tomb in the pyramids. You had to be of the elite people, the pharaohs and that kind of thing. So that's one of the things that the capital letter A represents. But the small letter A in English, and we'll be having a separate discussion and separate classes on the meanings of English letters.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have a book on that also, the meanings of every English letter. And the small English letter, if you think about it in your mind's eye, it actually resembles a person on their knees, possibly bent over and leaning over, possibly in pain. If you can just imagine the position of a woman who's 8, 9 months pregnant and who may be just about ready to give birth.
Hmm.
So she's leaning over in pain and she's about to bring a new life into the world. So the letter A came to represent things that are new,
Hmm.
as would be the first letter of an alphabet. It's new, it's independent, it represents a new life,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it represents death, just like the capital A and its pyramid structure. And it represents death not because she dies during that process. Sometimes they do. It becomes so much of a burden to the female that she dies while giving birth sometimes. But it's not that kind of death. When a woman gives birth to a newborn baby, she becomes dead, so to
Hmm.
speak, meaning the pregnancy dies. Her being pregnant dies. She's no longer pregnant. She's alive, but the pregnancy is dead.
Hmm.
So people took those signs in nature and how things operate naturally, and they began to assign those meanings to their letters. See? So the letter A came to represent that level of detachment because the baby now has to detach from the mother's womb.
Hmm.
And at the same time, the exact same time, the baby is attaching to the world. The doctor has to deal with it now, or, the midwife or the mother or whoever's in the room assisting the pregnant woman give birth. So the baby now, whereas it was previously attached only to its mother
Hmm.
by the umbilical cord, once it is in the world, then it becomes attached to the environment and all of the people and places and things that are part of the environment. So all of these things represent the concept of attachment, the concept of covenant, agreements that are made, uh, and the idea of leadership actually coming into the world. See, that's what the leaders represent, especially in ancient Egypt with the Pharaoh. In your
Yes.
religion, with the so-called imams, they call them, begins with Alif, Imam. See, so these words that begin with A are very special words in the lexicon. So pay attention to them.
The one idea that seems to be common among all those concepts that you just share with us, the one common thing that I see is forward movement. And I think about all us as creatures that call ourselves human beings. We reside here on our home, the planet Earth.
Yes.
And what a thought to think about the Earth stopping and reversing direction and going backwards.
Boy.
I mean, what a thought.
Yeah. And that very word for earth and Arabic begins with the Aleph. outer
Yeah.
rim.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
it's
that would be devastating
oh,
if the Earth started to moonwalk.
so it's just a thought, just
That's a
how
powerful
important
thought. Yeah, it's a powerful thought.
this letter A carries that kind of a power in that level of thinking, just to
Yes,
think that life is made to be progressive, to move forward.
yes. That's the
And
whole purpose in standing up.
yes,
That's the whole purpose
yes,
given to the spine is to help that creature move forward.
yes, yes,
Move backward only when necessary, just like you do when you're parking your car. You move backward just to situate yourself for parking in a parking spot.
right.
But the objective in driving is not to go backwards.
Oh,
No.
that's
So
right.
stay forward movement.
Yes.
Stay forward moving, I should say. Yeah.
And so we're inviting you, all of you that have joined us, to stay with us on this journey, this Nunetics journey. This is just the first letter. And some count the Arabic letters as 28. We count even uh, include the Hamza letter Hamza, which brings it to 29. But stay with us on this journey, and
Absolutely.
you'll be forward moving as we move through this process. And stay with us. Stay with us. As a matter of fact, there's so much. One way you can do it is by going to our website, Nunetics Institute .org, and there you can access the material. There's a lot of it there. There are books, 24 going on 27, and yes, very soon. And you can join our class, and really be an active participant and a member of this movement, this journey that we're all on.
That's what it is. Yes.
We'd love to have you. So with that, until our next letter, which is Vade, we'll just say peace.
It's